When I took over Blocksberger from my bishop, I didn't feel confident. I wondered how I could ever fill his shoes. It was overwhelming, leading a church that was just under 10 people on a small hillside. The adjustment was a lot to process, but I learned quickly my confidence didn't need to come from me. It came from God. The church I inherited was small and humble. It sat on that hillside, worn and weathered. The paint was peeling, the roof needed repairs, and the space was cramped. Sometimes, it felt like the walls were closing in on us. But every Sunday, we gathered faithfully, even with the cracked floors and squeaky pews. God's presence filled that little room. It was never about the building, it was about the people, the worship, and the hunger for God. Even with our small numbers, God moved powerfully in our services. Lives were changed, hearts were touched, and we began to grow. The word started spreading, and more people came. Soon, we were running out of space. We needed a bigger place, and we prayed for God to provide. And once again, God made a way.
I can't help but feel grateful to God every time I step into this new building. It's beautiful, it's spacious, and it's a place where we can truly worship without limits. But I'll never forget where we started. We came from a small building on that hillside. It was so tiny that we could barely fit 10 people. I remember standing shoulder to shoulder with my church family, lifting our voices in worship, sometimes almost whispering so we wouldn't overwhelm the little room. The space was cramped, and it felt like there was no room to grow. But God was there and provided. Thank God for this new church.
I'm in awe of what God has done. We started in a small building that barely held 10 people. It was cramped, but God moved powerfully. Now, we stand in this beautiful new church, a place with room to grow and worship freely. Every time I walk through these doors, I'm reminded of God's faithfulness. He took us from humble beginnings to a place of blessing. This building isn't just bigger, it's a testimony of God's provision. And I know He's got even more in store for us.
God has been faithful, taking us from a small building to this beautiful new place. But this isn't the end, it's just the beginning. This church is meant to be filled. Let's fill it with worship, with people, and with His presence, now to fill this building.